All right, everybody, welcome to Foo Theater. You're watching Foo Theater live on the real Foo TV. Remember to subscribe. Sorry about that. With a little bit of technical difficulties there, I forgot to turn some of the different settings off before I started the show. But remember, you're watching Foo Theater, you son of a... Hit that like button and supposedly helps the channel. Guess who's also here, people? Bob!
Hello.
Gotta talk a little louder, Bob. A little louder.
I am in
A
the
little
yellow.
more upbeat. Come on, Bob. Let's
I'm
do this.
in the yellow. I'm in the yellow. Listen,
You gotta be a little louder than yellow. What are
I'm
you, yellow?
in the yellow.
Are you scared, Bob?
No.
You're not scared?
No.
It is now 11 o'clock in New York, people, and I'm drinking a coffee.
Because you are an unhinged maniac.
Still getting over my cold. I'm almost there. I think I'm almost there. Hopefully, knock on wood.
That's a very Bon Jovi thing of you to say.
What do you mean?
Whoa! Yep.
Living on House on Haunted Hill. Take my hand.
And just so people are clear, this is the OG House on Haunted Hill, not the Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Yes.
Owen Wilson edition.
Vincent Price.
This is with the real
deal.
The real spookening.
Let me put some game on you. That's my Kendrick Lamar. Like it, Bob?
See, Iceman in the comments is saying he could hear me loud and clear. I know how the spaceship controls work. If I'm in the yellow, I'm good.
I have different standards. My
Well, your
standards are very
standards
high.
are wrong.
My standards for loudness are very high.
Because you don't have functional ear holes.
I do.
You don't.
My holes are all functioning.
Degeneracy abounds.
Why is that funny? I don't get it, Bob.
You degenerate.
You're the degenerate.
Whore!
You're the degenerate. You're the degenerate, Mom! Girl! That's
You
me
just sounded
doing...
like a goat.
That's my emo voice. Girl, I'm just here with you. Is that how they used to sing those emo
I have
bands?
no idea.
Yeah, that is. All right, so we're gonna be watching House on Haunted Hill. You got any info on this movie, Bob?
I do.
Tell us.
I will tell you in a minute. You flaming
You're still watching Foo Theater
letter.
on the real Foo TV, people.
So
It is
we're
pretty damn
actually
amazing.
going in like sequential order. This is from 1959, almost sequential order.
Yes.
We would have had to flip the crawling eye and the crab monsters. But we would 57, 58, 59.
Yeah.
So this
Let's
was
do
written
this.
by Rob White, starring Vincent Price, Carol Omart, Richard Long, Alan Marshall, Carolyn Craig, and Alicia Cook Jr. Price is eccentric millionaire Frederick Lauren, who, along with his wife Annabelle, invited 5 people to stay to the house for a haunted house party. And whoever stays in the house for one night will earn $10,000, which is no small sum in 1959. Anyway, we've all probably seen the remake of this film. So let's get into the nitty gritty here.
Wait, Bob, what does this mean? A pizza with the turtle?
Huh? Okay.
We've been called a pizza turtle.
Pizza turtle.
Yeah, you don't see on the screen pizza and a turtle.
I don't know what that means, but okay.
All right. Is that it?
So let's look at the production. The exterior shots of the house were filmed at the historic Ennis House in Los Feliz, California, designed by Frank Lloyd Wright. That's actually pretty cool. So the exterior shots are a Frank Lloyd Wright house.
Oh.
You may have heard of Frank Lloyd Wright because you're an architecture fan, and you might have heard of Frank Lloyd Wright in the eponymous Simon and Garfunkel song.
Really?
Yeah. It was built in 1924, but the interior shots were filmed on sound stages. And they used actual Victorian fittings, gas chandeliers and sconces.
Nice sconces, huh?
Yeah.
Got some sconces up in here. Fancy schmancy.
Yeah. The film is best known for a promotional gimmick used in the film's original theatrical release called Emergo. And some theaters that showed the film, exhibitors rigged an elaborate pulley system near the theater screen, which allowed a plastic skeleton to be flown over the audience during a corresponding scene late in the film.
Ooh. 4D?
Yeah. 4D. OG
4D.
4D.
OG 4D.
They had so apparently Steven Tyler was at one of the screenings where they had the skeleton fly.
Nice.
And he said that everybody screamed and jumped out of their seats. The film was a huge success. Even Alfred Hitchcock took notice of it. Alfred Hitchcock's actually one of my favorite directors. And he made his own low budget. Oh, that's so cool. Okay, so Alfred Hitchcock saw House on Haunted Hill.
Yes.
And that inspired Psycho.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It
Very
says that
influential, huh?
he made his own low-budget horror film, which became the critically acclaimed hit Psycho. Castle was himself a Hitchcock fan and tried to imitate Hitchcock's work in his later films, such as Homicidal. That is so interesting. And
These
you know
guys are
what?
going back and forth, huh? Liking each other.
Thinking about it, though, like I
Yes.
can see the influence.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
Do you ever watch the remake
Of what?
House on Haunted Hill?
Yes.
It was actually pretty good.
It wasn't bad at all. I think that there were a couple scenes. They went a little heavy on the CGI, but I think it was overall like a pretty cool.
Yeah, it wasn't
Film.
that bad. I think most of the effects are practical effects in that film.
They were.
Yeah.
Well,
In the more recent one.
in the more recent one, no, because when the haunting actually starts ramping up, there's like
They have some
the CGI like
But I
the
think a lot of it
cherubs and stuff.
is practical. Yeah.
The effects pertaining to the actual actors are practical. The effects on the house are CGI.
Yeah. I liked it. I remember I liked it. I haven't seen it in years, but thought it was pretty good.
What does the pizza turtle mean?
I don't know. Maybe they think we're turtles.
I don't know. Was Hitchcock a pervert? Hitchcock
Was
liked to torture his leading ladies.
I mean, look, Bob. His last name was Cock.
Hitchcock.
It had a he's a Hitchcock.
Hitchcock
he
liked
tied
to
things
torture
it.
his leading ladies.
That sounds a bit perverted to me, Bob.
In the way kind of did not dissimilar to what Stanley
Diddy?
Kubrick did to Shelley Duvall during The Shining.
Oh, he's a perfectionist.
So, for example, Tippi Hedren, who was his favorite leading lady, who was the leading lady in The Birds, she was so traumatized by participating in that film that she like was afraid of birds for the rest of her life.
Oh,
Yeah, he would
I like The Birds. It was a good movie.
It is a good movie, but he liked to like traumatize his stars. So I mean, there might have been a
Sounds
little
like a
perviness.
sicko to me, Bob.
What?
Sounds like a perv to me. All right, you want to watch the trailer?
Yeah.
All right, now we're gonna watch the trailer, the theatrical trailer for House on Haunted Hill. All right, give me 1 second. We gotta watch this stuff. All right, here we go.
I'm Vincent Price, and you're invited to my party in the house on Haunted Hill, where so far the ghosts have murdered only 7 people. So won't you come and make it 8? You'll see human heads without bodies. Mysterious pools of blood dripping from the ceiling. The walls move slowly in against you. Don't try to escape, you can't.
No.
Are you ready, dear?
Yes. Damn you.
Kinky.
The ghosts are waiting, so won't you join me in the house on Haunted Hill? Hurry, or you'll be late for your own funeral.
You don't want to be late for your own funeral.
I
Sorry.
mean, maybe I do though.
That sounds like something I'd like to be late for. Very, very late for, right?
I will, skip it entirely if at all possible.
We're definitely late for the show, that's for sure.
We were 3 minutes
but
late.
we,
okay?
Bob, we make our time. We make our own time. This
show up exactly.
That's a
on
pretty
time.
edgy poster, isn't it? That's pretty creepy. The way they got that skeleton, got that lady on that freaking noose.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Iceman is saying Liam Neeson played his part in the remake. Yes, I believe so.
Did he?
I
thought
think
it was Jeffrey Rush.
I don't fucking know.
I
They
think
look
he
kinda
might be
similar.
talking about The Haunting.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I know that all I remember from the remake is Catherine Zeta-Jones. That's weird
The
looking.
Haunting.
What?
That's The Haunting.
No.
You're talking about The Haunting. It's not the same movie.
It is.
No, it isn't. They did a remake of House on Haunted Hill. You're confusing it with The Haunting. I don't think The Haunting is a remake. It might be, but it ain't based on this film. It might be inspired by it, but it's not a remake of this one.
The
Just saying.
1999 House on Haunted Hill remake has so it is Jeffrey Rush.
Yes.
With Ali Larter, Famke Janssen, Taye Diggs.
Yes, Taye Diggs was a star of it, as far as I remember.
Interesting.
Told
Okay,
you.
so yeah, I was thinking of The Haunting, which
Yes,
is
it's The Haunting.
similar concept.
A lot
but
of people, it is very similar. It's a very similar concept. I feel like The Haunting was based on an old film as well, right?
probably,
But it was the same exact plot.
it like
to survive
yeah.
in a house, in a haunted house, right? Am I wrong?
No,
I
you're
might
not
be
wrong.
about that. I think The Haunting doesn't have to do with a prize, does it?
The Haunting is about staying.
Does it?
I think you get the house or something like that.
I'd have to go look into that. I feel like that film was just like, I think it was a bunch of relatives. I know there was some weird creepy lady that was like attached to the house, and
Yes.
she was really annoying. She
And
was
then
like, this house is the children.
Yeah, that's the one.
I was
with
like,
the-
I can't watch this
and
movie
Owen
anymore.
Wilson's head gets knocked
He
off
was
by
like-
the fireplace.
Yeah,
It goes
remember?
bouncing down
It was
the
a turtle.
room.
A turtle got his head. Turtle. He went, what was that sound he makes?
Whoa.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Wow. That's the sound he makes in every movie. Wow. Wow. Remember they made that meme where he's a turtle?
Yeah,
He has a turtle-like nose, doesn't
he
he?
does.
He has a very turtle-like voice.
Is he turtly enough for the Turtle Club?
Now. Almost. Wait. Is Owen Wilson actually a turtle, Bob?
I want to believe.
You want to believe?
Yeah, I loved the X-Files, man. That's such a good show.
All right. So people in the comments are admitting. Wow, what's wrong with my brain?
Agreeing.
Agreeing, not admitting. I mixed it up with Bob and Catherine Zeta-Jones. Bob said Catherine Zeta-Jones. Yes, Catherine Zeta-Jones is in The Haunting,
Yeah.
along with I think Liam Neeson as well.
And Owen Wilson. And that like weird looking little like ratty girl lady.
I had to
thing.
clear that up for you guys.
Yeah. We can't all be Rain Man.
Yep, it's just it's hard being this intelligent, you know. Kind of sucks at times. Just ultra intelligent.
Let's get on with this and play the film.
All right, we're gonna be watching the movie. Give me 1 second.
How dare you, you fucking whore.
Whoa! Watch
Whoa,
out!
whoa,
It's a
whoa,
family
whoa,
show,
whoa,
Bob.
whoa, whoa.
Do you ever watch your mouth?
No, I can't. It's on my face.
Watch your mouth.
You watch your mouth.
You effing piece of beep.
You effing piece of beef.
I need a bleep button for this show. You know that?
You don't.
I do.
You don't. I promise.
I do.
My goodness.
All right. What? My goodness, what? What have I done wrong this time, Bob?
Everything.
All right. Here we go. We're going to watch it. I just got to put my ducking controls on. Remember, Bob, every time you make a sound, it'll duck down the audio. So be careful.
Good. So I'll wait until the most suspenseful moments and I'll quack like a duck. Quack, quack.
You could scream like the people in the movie. They're like, ah!
The Scream Queens.
I feel like that trailer, they just kept kind of elevating their screaming.
This was the age of the Scream Queen, man. Pretty girls being helpless and screaming their lungs out.
Is that really what they did?
Yep.
It seems like there's a sexual component.
Hello, Electro Jed.
What's
We're
up?
watching House on Haunted Hill.
Yes, we're watching House on Haunted Hill. Here we go, Bob. Here we go.
The ghosts are moving tonight, restless, hungry. May I introduce myself? I'm Watson Pritchard. In just a minute, I'll show you the only...
All right, people, sorry about that. I don't want the subtitles on, so I'm going to turn those off. We're going to go slightly back just so we can watch that little bit there. Sorry about that.
May I introduce myself? I'm Watson Pritchard. In just a minute, I'll show you the only really haunted house in the world. Since it was built a century ago, 7 people, including my brother, have been murdered in it. Since then, I've owned the house. I've only spent one night there, and when they found me in the morning, I was almost dead.
I'm Frederick Lauren, and I've rented the house on Haunted Hill tonight so that my wife can give a party. A haunted house party. She's so amusing. There'll be food and drink and ghosts, and perhaps even a few murders. You're all invited. If any of you will spend the next 12 hours in this house, I'll give you each $10,000, or your next of kin in case you don't survive. Ah, but here come our other guests. It was my wife's idea to have our guests come in funeral cars. She's so amusing. Her sense of humor is, shall we say, original. I dreamed up the hearse. It's empty now, but after a night in the house on Haunted Hill, who knows? This is Lance Schroeder, a test pilot, so no doubt a brave man. But don't you think you can be much braver if you're paid for it? And I happen to know that Lance needs the $10,000 I'll give him, if he's brave enough to stay all night. This is Ruth Bridges. You've no doubt read her column in the newspapers. She says her reason for coming to the party is to write a feature article on ghosts. She's also desperate for money. Gambles. You've already met Watson Pritchard, a man living in mortal fear of a house, and yet he is risking his life to spend another night here. I wonder why. He says for money. This is Dr. David Trent, a psychiatrist. He claims that my ghost will help his work on hysteria. But don't you see a little touch of greed there, around the mouth and eyes? This is Nora Manning. I picked her from the thousands of people who work for me because she needed the $10,000 more than most. Supports her whole family. Isn't she pretty? The party's starting now, and you have until midnight to find the house on Haunted Hill.
Where's everybody?
It isn't a very warm welcome, is it?
Only the ghosts in this house are glad we're here.
Are we all strangers to each other? Don't you two know each other?
I'm afraid I don't even know your name.
I'm Nora Manning.
Lance Schroeder.
Is Frederick Lauren a friend of yours?
I've heard of him, but I've never met him.
I work for one of his companies, but I've never seen him.
I've never met the man either. Just a phone call. Do you know him?
No,
Well, then you're the only one of us who does.
I don't know him. All the details about renting the house were done by mail.
He's quite wealthy, isn't he?
Millions.
And 5 wives, I believe.
4, I think, so far.
A $50,000 party for only 5 people is a little steep, even for a millionaire.
Well, if I were going to haunt anybody, this would certainly be the house I'd do it in.
Who closed the door?
This thing's made of solid steel.
The tabs you open here are also here. Choose Chrome to share tabs across devices.
Taxes was waiting and wondering.
Annabelle, our guests are here, unfortunately still alive. Is your face on yet?
Dust and dirt everywhere, and the water barely trickles. Couldn't you have had the place cleaned?
Atmosphere, darling. You know how ghosts are. They never tidy up. And that's a very fetching outfit, but hardly suitable for a party.
I'm not going to the party.
The spend-the-night ghost party was your idea, remember? Since it's going to cost me $50,000, I want you to have fun.
The party was my idea until you invited all the guests. Why all these strangers? Why none of our friends?
Friends? Do we have any friends?
No, your jealousy took care of that.
I had a reason for inviting each guest. I wanted kind of a cross-section. From psychiatrist to typist, and from drunk to jet pilot. They share one thing. They all need money. Now let's see if they're brave enough to earn it.
And you call this a party?
Could be.
Why do you always do that? It spoils the champagne.
It might explode.
Never does.
Will you guarantee that?
That isn't funny, Frederick.
Make a good headline. Playboy kills wife with champagne cork. Will you join me?
No, thank you.
Just a sip might improve your humor.
My humor is fine, thanks. And I haven't poisoned it.
It's always good to know that. Have some. You'll enjoy the party more. Go on.
Your trust is so touching. And I'm not going to the party.
Of all my wives, you're the least agreeable.
But still alive.
Would you go away for $1 million tax-free? You want it all, don't you?
I deserve it all. Your jealousy isn't tax-free. And your possessiveness is maddening.
If ever a man had grounds for divorce,
But can't prove them.
the time will come. You'll slip up one of these days,
Think so?
if I live long enough. You remember the fun we had when you poisoned me?
something you ate, the doctor said.
Yes, arsenic on the rocks. Annabelle, you'd do it again if you thought you could get away with it, wouldn't you?
Darling, what makes you think that?
Something about you. I hear that hanging is very uncomfortable, in case you get any more ideas. And don't let the ghosts and the ghouls disturb you, darling.
Darling, the only ghoul in the house is you.
And don't sit up all night thinking of ways to get rid of me. It makes wrinkles.
This is what she used on my brother and her sister. Hacked them to pieces. We found parts of the bodies all over the house, in places you wouldn't think. The funny thing is the heads have never been found. Hands and feet and things like that. But no heads.
The wife, probably in a rage, threatened her husband with a knife and then, carried away by hysteria, took a swing at him and simply went on from there.
She certainly went on. How many people did she kill, Mr. Pritchard?
Only two. Her husband and her sister. No one else was here.
So there are two loose heads just floating around in here somewhere?
You can hear them at night. They whisper to each other and then cry.
Since our host isn't here, would anyone care to mix me a drink?
Certainly. What will you have?
Good evening. I'm your host, Frederick Lauren. Since we're all strangers to each other, let's get acquainted with a drink, shall we?
Mr. Lauren, I advise you to call this party off now. The ghosts are already moving, and that's a bad sign.
Let me apologize for my wife. She'll join us later. What do you have?
Scotch and.
Doctor?
I'll have the same.
Now, before the party begins, let's go over the details. The caretakers will leave at midnight, locking us in here until they come back in the morning. Once the door is locked, there's no way out. The windows have bars that a jail would be proud of, and the only door to the outside locks like a vault. There's no electricity, no phone, no one within miles, so no way to call for help.
Like a coffin.
So if any of you decide not to stay for the party, you must let me know before midnight. Of course, if you leave, I shan't be able to pay you anything.
I'm interested in your reasons for this, party. Aside from the pleasant company.
Ghosts, Doctor. I think everyone wonders what they would do if they saw a ghost. And now my wife has given us all the opportunity to find out.
Amusing. Ghosts, etc., being only creations of hysteria, your party should be a success.
Well, Pritchard here promises us genuine ghosts.
7 now. Maybe more before morning.
That's cheerful.
4 men have been murdered in this house. And 3 women.
You planned your party very well, Mr. Lauren. 4 of us are men, 3 are women. And a ghost for everybody.
And Pritchard, why don't you take us on a tour through the house and let's see what happens, huh?
See that stain? Blood. A young girl was killed here. And whatever got her wasn't human. Don't stand there.
What do you mean? Where?
It's too late. They've marked you.
Ridiculous. The roof probably leaks.
Oh, that must be what it is. Who would want to haunt me?
I would say any self-respecting male ghost.
I hope it doesn't come back.
Well, Mr. Pritchard, you're the life of the party.
He hasn't even started yet. Wasn't there a man who threw his wife into a wine vat or something?
That was in the cellar. There's been a murder almost every place in this house. belonged to a Mr. Norton, who didn't die here. He was electrocuted later. Mr. Norton did a good deal of experimenting with wines, but his wife didn't think it was any good. So he filled the vat with acid and threw her in. She was supposed to stay down, but the bones came up. It's a funny thing, but none of the murders here were just ordinary. Just shooting or stabbing. They've all been sort of wild, violent, and different. Look out! God, she didn't fall in.
You mean there's still acid in there?
Destroys everything with hair and flesh. Just leaves the bones.
Yeah, I'm gonna call it right now. I think I found the single biggest productivity hack of 2021. It's this Google Chrome extension called Speech.
My, it's dry and dusty down here.
Well, there's a cure for that upstairs. Come on. How'd you get invited to this party? No. Oh, go on. I mean, what did he tell you?
Mr. Lawrence said everybody'd get $10,000.
But he didn't say anything about being locked in.
No.
He just made the deal with me on the phone, but nothing about having to stay.
Aren't you going to stay?
If I don't, I lose $10,000.
I'm going to stay, too. $10,000.
Yeah. You believe in ghosts?
I don't know.
Well, I agree with what that doc says. You can spook yourself. I've done it in planes. Seen things that weren't really there. Or were they? What are you going to do with your $10,000? If we get it.
What do you mean, if we get it? Won't he pay us if we stay?
Ah, sure he will. 10,000 is no more to him than a nickel is to us.
We were in an automobile accident. Now I'm the only one in the family who can make any money.
Boy, I've never seen so many doors. Closet. Bottles.
Does it go anywhere? Lance! Lance!
say Lance is gone? Gone where?
We'll have to break it down. It's locked.
Locked?
You all right?
Nothing that money won't cure. I must have bumped my head.
And the only way you could bump your head in here is to run head on into the wall. You didn't do that, did you? Let's get a bandage on that.
I wonder why they didn't kill him.
Who?
He didn't bump his head. They hit him.
They?
Nora, when you came in, you said something about a ghost.
There was something.
What did it look like?
Well, it was wearing a black thing that went all the way to the floor.
Weren't you a little frightened at the time?
Well, yes.
That, Mr. Loren, is hysteria.
Well, then, Doctor, how do you explain what happened to Lance? Was that hysteria, too?
You better get that checked in a day or so.
Thanks, Doc.
Wait for me in the hall.
The ghosts are coming closer, Mr. Loren.
You really believe in your pet ghost, don't you, Pritchard?
Before the night's over, you will, too.
Would you like a drink, Lance?
No, thanks.
I'd like one. Scotch and. Mr. Loren, are you really going to pay anyone who stays all night?
Certainly. $10,000.
Will there be much red tape or delay?
You in a hurry, dear?
Frankly, yes. Or frantically.
There you are, my dear.
Someone or something was in here when I came in. But where? And if the door was locked, how did it get out? What you saw might have been a ghost, Nora, but what was in here with me was no ghost.
I don't know. I was so scared.
Does that sound different to you?
Yes.
Three, 6, 9, 12. 12 feet. Three, 6. Now, I'm going to knock on the other wall. When you hear me, you knock on this wall.
Tap lower down.
Minutes ago, she'd never play piano.
Where'd it come from?
From in here.
What if it ran out of here? I'd have seen it.
Lance, it doesn't run. It just floats.
Yeah, but why didn't I see it?
You don't believe me.
Well, how can I?
I'm Annabelle Lauren. You must be Miss Manning. I realize this is a very unusual and I'm afraid very dull party. Wouldn't you like to freshen up? This is your room. Depressing, isn't it?
I doubt if I'll spend much time here.
It's going to rain. Perfect atmosphere for my husband's party. Why did you come here?
He said he'd give me $10,000.
Why did he pick you?
I don't know. My supervisor just came and said I'd been invited.
How long have you known my husband?
I just met him tonight.
So? Why you? What were you doing wandering around by yourself?
Well, I was in the cellar with Lance, Mr. Schroeder, and I just left, that's all.
Don't do it again. Don't go anywhere in this house by yourself. Now fix your face and I'll come by for you in a few minutes.
But
You're in danger. We all are.
But who?
I hope for your sake you never find out. I'm Annabelle Lauren. Were you looking for something?
Not exactly.
Are you the doctor?
No, I'm Lance Schroeder.
The pilot. You've hurt yourself.
Oh, it's just a bump on the head. Which is my room?
I believe this is it.
Thank you, Mrs. Lauren.
Annabelle Lance. You were with the young girl in the cellar. Why was she so upset?
Was she?
And you don't look like the type to go around bumping his head. What really happened, Lance?
Well, Nora thought she saw a ghost, but I didn't see anything.
She was just frightened then.
And mad at me, I think. I kidded her about it.
I wouldn't joke about anything else that happens here tonight.
Now, don't tell me you're taking all this seriously.
Aren't you?
Well, I'd like to find out what hit me.
Lance. If I need help, may I count on you?
Sure, I guess so. Look, what's going on here anyway? I mean, what is with this party bit?
This is no party. He's planning something.
Your husband?
I wish I knew what it was.
Must be pretty big if he's going to lay out $50,000.
The money doesn't mean anything. He has a reason for getting us all up here to this dreadful old house.
Well, what for? He doesn't even know us.
Maybe that's exactly why you're here.
Well, what can he get away with?
Oh, he thinks that big money like his can get away with anything. You know, of course, that I'm his fourth wife. The first simply disappeared. The other two died. Lance, I don't want to join them.
You mean he,
Oh, his doctor said they died of heart attacks. 2 girls in their 20s.
Well, what can he do?
My husband is sometimes insane with jealousy. Nothing matters to him then. Please be careful.
Would he hurt you?
He would kill me if he could.
you're missing all the fun. Nora Manning was almost killed by a falling chandelier. The pilot bashed his head in.
Is he badly hurt?
The Saturnine psychiatrist bandaged him up. Don't you want to go and console him, as you do most men, in your fashion?
You're so clever, Frederick.
As I lie awake nights wondering why I married you. It was rather a mistake.
You didn't marry me, dear. I married you. Unpleasant, but no mistake.
Well, hurry up.
Frederick, for the last time, I'm not going to your party.
And for the last time, it's not my party, but yours. And you are going.
I am not.
You ready, dear?
No.
Are you ready, dear?
Yes, damn you.
Would you adore me as much if I were poor? No. All you want to be is a lovely widow. It's almost time to lock up the house. And then your party will really begin. I wonder how it'll end. It's close to midnight, Lance.
Okay. I'll be down in a minute.
Who is it?
Your host, my dear. It's almost midnight, Nora. We're all going to get together down in the living room.
All right, Mr. Lloyd. I'll be right down.
Aloha, my name is Darwell Rodriguez, and I'm a content creator.
Mic is on. Testing. All right, we're getting sorry, people. Sorry about all these ads, but this is I made the mistake of actually getting this video from a channel called CCC. Guy's got 2 million subscribers. He's decided to load up these classic films with advertising. Just gonna let you guys know that in the future, Food TV doesn't. We don't have advertising here, people. We're funded by, on our, what is it again called, Bob?
Venmo.
On Venmo, we're funded through that. We don't play advertisement. We're sorry about this. That this has so many ads. It's very irritating because I have to keep skipping them. If I started this, I really should have not gotten this video from this guy. It's a terrible, terrible channel. All right, we're going back to the movie. Sorry about that. Here we go.
Come with us. Come with us before he kills you. Where's Nora? Miss Manning.
I don't want to stay here.
Nora, what happened? That's Jonas Slides and his wife. They've been caretakers here for years. She's blind, you know.
I'm not going to stay here.
Well, Doctor, it looks like we have a real case of hysteria on our hands.
I think she's just a little upset, not hysterical.
Good evening.
Hello, my dear. This is my wife. These are our guests. Ruth Bridges, Dr. Trent. You know Watson Pritchard, of course. Nora Manning, and this is Lance Schroeder.
Get me out of here.
Now, what about the 10,000?
I don't care. He wants to kill me.
Who wants to kill you?
Mr. Lawrence.
May I have your attention, please? I think you all remember the bargain we made about staying all night. $10,000 apiece. If any of you don't survive, $50,000 will be divided amongst the rest of you. If I should die, you will be paid by my estate. When the door is locked from the outside by the caretakers, we'll all be forced to stay in this house until morning. If any of you decide not to stay, you must leave with the caretakers now. You won't have a chance to change your minds later, because there'll be no way to get out.
I don't want to stay.
Wait.
It isn't midnight yet. Who told them they could leave?
They never leave before midnight.
Well, they've gone now. I was going to ask you whether you wanted to stay or not, but it seems that the caretakers have made the decision for you. We're all locked in now.
But I don't want to stay.
And I'm sorry, my dear, but it's too late now.
Darling, haven't you had enough of the silly game? Get some cars up here for these people and let them go home. But pay them first.
This is your party, remember? In spite of my wife's faith in my ability to do the impossible, we will all have to stay in this house until 8 o'clock in the morning. But we have some party favors for you in these little coffins. This is my wife's idea. I must say, I think it's rather dangerous. I suppose you all know how to use one of these things, but in case you don't, you just press down on this lever with your thumb and then pull the trigger. You see, they're loaded.
These are no good against the dead, only the living.
Doctor? Lance? Nora?
Go ahead, take it.
Miss Bridges? And here's yours, dear.
I don't need it.
It was your idea. Who knows, you may want to use it on me before this night is over.
Throw these guns away. They won't do you any good.
I agree with Pritchard on that point, although not for the same reason.
Dr. Trent, don't you approve of our little party favors?
Suppose Nora had had a gun when she mistook the blind woman for a ghost.
I don't think anyone else is going to walk around in total darkness.
Oh, I'm sure we're not going to go running around the house shooting each other, aren't you?
Who knows? Fear makes people do amazing things.
Mr. Pritchard, you said your sister-in-law killed a man and a woman here and cut them up? You said they found hands and feet, but they never found any heads. Would you like to see one of those heads? Would you all like to see one of those heads? Well, then, just follow me.
Darling, I really don't need this.
We are at Boca Ria Market. I promise you, you've probably seen a bunch of these videos, but
Just go look Look in my suitcase. Just go look. But it was in there. A woman's head.
Nora, I think you're a little upset. Would you care for a sedative?
Get out! Get out, all of you! All of you, get out of here and leave me alone! Just get out of here!
You think it's all right to leave her by herself, Doctor?
I wish she'd taken the sedative.
Well, what do you suppose she thought she saw?
They're closing in on her.
Look, Doc, I think somebody ought to stay with her.
There could be 1 million people around her. But if they wanted her, they'd get her.
What if he's right?
He's too drunk to know what he's talking about.
I wonder. I'll join you in a minute.
Do you think it would do any good if you went in and talked to her?
Well, do you think there really was a head in her suitcase?
I don't know.
A thing like that would put me right over the edge.
But would you sort of stay up here, I mean, in case she needs help?
All right. I'll be in my room. Just call it.
Thanks.
Are you sure there are only 7 people in this house?
Positive, except for the ghosts.
I don't believe in ghosts, nor in frightening women. In Nora's case, it's gone far enough. Perhaps too far.
What do you suggest we do about it, Doctor?
Don't frighten her anymore.
Nora? 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 What do you know about this?
They've taken her. In a little while, she'll be one of them.
Where's Norton? Where is she?
It's too late. It's too late. You'll never find her again.
Pritchard, if you know where she is, you better tell me now.
She's gone. She's gone with them. And there's nothing you can do about it.
Let her down.
Nora?
She's dead, Mr. Lauren. Your wife hanged herself.
Suicide.
tried to kill me. He grabbed me and choked me and put me in that room. And then he went away and left me.
Who?
He thought I was dead.
Who?
Mr. Lord.
Are you sure about this?
I don't know. It was dark, but it must have been him.
Has anybody seen you since he left you?
I heard some people in that room, but I went by and nobody saw me.
Mrs. Lauren is dead.
But how?
Lauren said she committed suicide, but I think somebody killed her.
Him?
I'm sure you've come to the same conclusion I have.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, let's all have a meeting, discuss what to do. The living room?
Okay, in a minute. I've got to go downstairs. Now, you lock yourself in here and don't let anybody know you're here. If he thinks you're dead, he won't come here. And I'll get back as soon as I can. You'll be all right. And if you have to, you use it.
Do you really want to spend the rest of your life watching ads? Guys, just download Fi. It's a free Google Chrome extension and it basically blocks
So beautiful. So greedy. So cold. What are you doing in here? Wait. Don't wait. What do you mean coming in here?
I didn't want them to take her away.
You're drunk.
They will if you don't watch her.
You're drunk. All right, out with it, Bridget. Why did you come into this room?
I'm the only one who understands.
Understands what?
Your wife isn't there anymore. She's already joined them.
Bridget, I've had enough of your spook talk. Get out, you sot, and don't come back into this room again.
Where's what's her name? Nora.
I didn't disturb her since I don't think this concerns her.
No, you're right.
Mr. Lauren, isn't there some way we can get out of this house now?
No, none at all.
We could try breaking out.
The only door to the outside is made of steel. The bars of the windows are set in solid stone. We gotta stay.
I'm not afraid of your ghosts, Bridget. But I am afraid. When we came here a few hours ago, the only thing we had in common was the $10,000 we'd get. Now, however, we share something else. The death of Mrs. Lauren. So far tonight, one of us was almost killed by a falling chandelier. One of us was mysteriously slugged. One of us has been driven to the brink of absolute hysteria. And one of us is dead. Were these accidents? Suicide? And we must stay here for 6 more hours.
6 hours? 6 of us. Time enough.
Who will be next? How will it happen?
Let me ask you a question, Doctor. You were the first one to see my wife there. Did you also see anything that she could have climbed up on and then jumped?
No.
Did any of you? There was nothing. How then did she get up there so high?
Exactly, Mr. Lauren. How? She couldn't have pulled herself up there. She couldn't have dropped from the ceiling. Do you think your wife killed herself?
No. She was murdered by one of you.
Or you, Mr. Lauren. To deliberately kill someone, you must have a reason.
We were all strangers to your wife. Only you had a motive for murder.
What husband hasn't at some time wanted to kill his wife? What husband hasn't had 1,000 opportunities to do it in such a way so that he'd never be suspected? I'm not such a fool as to hang my wife from a ceiling by a rope.
The fact remains that you, or one of us, murdered Mrs. Lauren. And that's a matter for the police.
So how do we get the police?
That's my point. We can't until morning. What began as a silly party given by an eccentric has now involved us all in murder.
For once, Pritchard may be right. If another murder's in the works, let's stop it now.
Another murder?
Why not? Maybe one of us saw too much.
Why should even a millionaire want to give each of us $10,000 to spend one night in a gloomy old house? To see some ghosts, have a party? No.
Have you finished trying me, Doctor? And is the verdict guilty of murder?
Oh, this isn't getting us anywhere. Somebody killed Mrs. Lauren. We know that. One of us is guilty and the rest of us are innocent. Okay. Now, what we have to do for the next 6 hours is protect ourselves from each other.
Do you really think?
I don't think anything. I just know that I'm going to my room. And if anybody comes in, I'll shoot him. Or her.
And if we all stay in our rooms, we'll be safe. Because the innocent will have no reason to leave his room. And the guilty will admit his guilt if he or she does.
And we all have guns.
And we're all agreed?
Oh, I wish this night were over.
Rooms? Guns? I tell you, it doesn't make any difference. They aren't through with us yet. What's the use of saying goodnight?
Good night.
Good night, Doctor.
So let's say you have to read an incredibly long email from your boss that you have to finish before the big meeting starts.
Nora, it's me, Lance. You okay? They've all gone to their rooms and locked themselves in.
Lance, I've been thinking. It was so dark down there. Maybe it wasn't Mr. Lorne.
It was him, all right. He tried to kill you, and he did kill his wife.
How can you be so sure?
She tried to warn me, asked me to help her. The doc thinks he's going to try and kill one of us. Now, there must be a way out of this place, and I'm going to find it and get the police before he does.
I'm going with you.
Well, if he finds out you're alive... No, Nora. You're safer here than any place else. Now, just lock yourself in and keep quiet. If I find a way out, I'll come back and get you.
An admission of guilt, Doctor?
Certainly not. There's either somebody else in this house or one of us has left his room. Did you hear anything?
Organ music?
That, and someone walking.
You got yours? Ready?
You look downstairs, and I'll look up here.
Why not together?
There may be only minutes, seconds left of someone's life. Why waste time? It's almost over, darling. Every detail was perfect.
What's happening?
We've done it. A perfect crime. Beautiful.
Has she killed him?
Not yet, but she will.
Get me out of this hanging harness. What's taking that girl so long? What time is it?
At first, I couldn't get Nora to want to protect herself with a gun. But after you appeared at the window, everything began to work just as we had planned. You were wonderful. Just the touch that finally drove her into complete hysteria.
It'll be worth all of our planning, darling. Where's Nora now? What's happening?
On her way to the cellar. So scared she'll shoot the first thing that moves.
And Frederick?
On his way to the cellar, too.
David, are you sure none of them will suspect us?
Of what? An hysterical girl accidentally shoots somebody? Who would suspect that we planned it that way, that we drove her to it?
What about my suicide?
But just a ghost party gag. We'll claim it was a dummy since I'm the only one who touched you.
And the caretakers?
Well, they had no idea what they were really doing.
What about Nora? She's not stupid, you know.
Darling, believe me, everything we planned is working perfectly. Nora is sure Frederick murdered you. She thinks Frederick attacked her in the cellar, not me. And now Nora's almost out of her mind with fear. The heads, the music, you're hanging. I tell you, when Frederick walks in there, she'll shoot him.
It's taking too long. David, you ought to be there.
When you hear the shot, come down to the cellar.
David? David?
At last you've got it all. Everything I have. Even my life. But you're not going to live to enjoy it. Come with me, murderess. Come with me. Was indeed perfect. Only the victim is alive and the murderers are not. It's a pity you didn't know when you started your game of murder that I was playing too.
There must be some way to get in here.
Oh, it's right along here, somewhere.
Lance! I've shot Mr. Lorne. He's down in the wine cellar.
Alive?
I don't think so. It's him. He's alive.
You didn't shoot anyone, my dear. I loaded your gun with blanks. I can tell you all now. Trent and my wife were planning to kill me. They failed. Trent tried to throw me in the vat. My wife stumbled and fell. I'm ready for justice to decide if I'm innocent or guilty.
Now there are 9. There'll be more, many more. They're coming for me now. And then they'll come for you.
Okay, everybody, there's the end of House on Haunted Hill, Vincent Price classic. Yeah, sorry about the advertising, people. That we got this stream from a page on YouTube called CCC. I would not suggest going to there. The guy loads up the videos with advertising. It was very irritating having to turn those off the whole time. Sorry about that. We're gonna make sure that these videos we show in the future don't have any advertising. Okay. All right, Bob. So what'd you think of the movie?
It was really good. And you know, it's kind of interesting. So, in Hollywood, from probably the 30s, clear through to the middle end of the 60s. So this movie fell in that time window. The morality codes of Hollywood meant that if you were a bad guy, you couldn't live. So if you did something bad, you had to die at the end of the movie or go to jail. Like, you had to face justice. So that's why both David and the wife had to die. Like, there was no way they were coming out of that film alive. And
Vincent Price didn't die.
He didn't die, but he says, I'm ready to face justice. So, like, you understand that he's not going to get away with it scot-free. Uh-huh. But that was a really important thing because in Hollywood, they understood the tremendous power that media of this type has. And so they set some very, very strict morality laws. And that's why you saw even married couples in television shows and in films slept in separate beds. You couldn't.
It isn't like it is nowadays where they'll have like a million trillion gangster rap videos.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I really would have enjoyed if the film was longer. Like, I feel like they really could have tied it up a lot better than that. I feel like there could have even been a sequel.
Yeah, right? I mean, because now you get into this territory of like, okay, well, we know it's not the ghosts probably. It was just people.
Yes. Well, I mean, so wait, that old woman wasn't a ghost?
No, she was a caretaker.
So all of it was him playing around with strings the whole time?
Yeah, it was. He was leveraging the creepy fear factor of the house to kind of create this ambiance. And the psychologist and the wife were relying on that because they figured that there would be at least one person that they could get to that fevered pitch of terror.
Yes.
To accidentally shoot the husband. So that way the wife gets everything because she didn't kill him.
But didn't he set it all up? I thought he set it up, the whole thing.
No. He always said it was my wife's idea. My wife wanted to have a party.
All right, sorry about that, people. I'm guessing maybe I'm getting it confused with the new one, because the new one in a lot of ways is very different.
Yeah.
It actually has ghosts in it.
Yeah,
the new
and that's
one.
the thing.
And it ties everything up. Basically, almost everyone gets killed in the remake.
Yeah.
Yeah, they tie it up a little better. Over here, it's like
They
it's
leave it
interesting.
open-ended.
I think the movie Troll 2 referenced this film. When I saw that at the end, right? He says they're coming for you. Like they have that scene in Troll 2 where he says, they're eating her and then they're going to eat me. That's what it seemed like that
And this is
ending
also Night of the Living Dead, right?
Yeah.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Yes. Similar.
And one thing that I thought was really interesting, that was very different, was what's on the screen right now. That scene where he's obviously very physically, probably abusive. We don't really see explicit abuse.
Well, I mean,
but,
he knew for a fact that she wanted to kill him.
But but they also kind of lead you down the garden path that he may or may not have killed his 3 previous wives.
Yes.
Right. So like neither of them are quote unquote good. He's not like a loving and devoted husband.
He's supposed to be like a very wealthy man who's just like emotionally destroyed, right? That he's got this woman that he loves and he knows for a fact she wants him dead.
Yeah.
So that's going to have an effect on him, right? He also knows that she's cheating on him.
And I think that
he probably knows all of it. Sorry, people. Our dog is having a meltdown right now. I don't know what the heck he's doing. Okay, he's hawking up a loogie or something. Okay, sorry about that. All right, Bob. All right, Bob.
Yeah.
All right, so Bob.
Fluffy was just participating in the
our
film.
dog is doing. I don't know what the hell he's doing. They do that from time to time. Okay, so.
Well, I mean, I'm a little disappointed
sorry about that.
in the fact that it left everything kind of so up in the air. Like, were there ghosts? Were there not ghosts? Was it all in his head? Like, was it all just a farce? What happens to Vincent Price? Like, what happens when the 8 a.m. comes and the caretakers come back and there's 2 less people than when they started? Mm-hmm. I do wish that there had been a little bit more of a conclusion. I mean, maybe they always thought that they would come back and do
a sequel,
a second one. But
it's funny that we've been watching films like we've watched a movie from 1957, then 58. Now this film is in 1959. Isn't that funny that we've...
Yeah, we kind of have been going in year order. I feel like you need to find a movie from 1960.
Yes. All right, so, Bob.
Yeah.
Time to review this. Give me 1 second. I got to just get our graphic out. All right, we got Quags in the comments. What is he saying?
It's late. Go to bed.
It's late. Go to bed. Soon.
Hi, Dad. How you doing? Quags is not actually my father, but that was a very fatherly thing.
Yeah, it is. It is.
He's preparing to be a father, perhaps.
All right, so time to review the movie.
Oh, you have Plan 9 from Outer Space. Very good.
Yes. Which we also might watch that one again because the last time we watched it, it was only in 1080p. And we definitely will not be watching it from CCC. I'm going to make an effort to either purchase these films or rent them.
We actually do. I think we own Plan 9.
We own Plan 9. Yes, we do.
We own a bunch of these.
I'm not going to be streaming anything from CCC anymore. The fact that had so many advertisements really upset me. Okay.
Iceman is saying this movie is better than the Giant Crab movie.
Come on.
You're not a fan of atomic crabs?
You don't like crabs, bro? Oh my God.
Iceman doesn't want to have crabs. Got it. Understood.
He doesn't like crabs. I mean, giant crabs are pretty damn cool. All right. I'm looking for my drawing thing. Give me 1 second. Do you see where the hell my...
No.
All right, give me 1 second, people. I got to find the things for my program so I can actually write on the screen.
But yeah, the Hays codes in Hollywood. So if there's pre and post code Hollywood pre-code movies are pretty wild. There's nudity, there's lasciviousness, there's vice of all sorts. And then the Hays Code was enacted, and that very, very thoroughly changed the game in Hollywood. There were so many rules about propriety, and all of the films had to be like reviewed for compliance before they were released. So any even suggestion of impropriety was removed. It wasn't as though you could make it a different rating. You just could not put it in a film. One of the genres that really bucked against that trend was horror, obviously, but also film noir.
Sorry, Bob. I'm gonna have to open up my program again. Hopefully, this doesn't lock everything up. Yeah, I could not find the drawing thing. Okay, now I got it. I have to reopen the program. All right, what were you saying, Bob?
I was saying that aside from horror, it was film noir that would really challenge the Hays Code, because a lot of the themes in film noir movies, as the genre name would suggest, were darker themes.
Yes.
Where you were delving into the underbelly of society, as it were. So it became challenging to have a film that is focusing in on criminality or poverty or, any of the vice in all of its formats, while still being compliant with the Hays Code. So, it's the rumblings of the destruction of the Hays Code were already present. But what many people feel was the golden age of Hollywood, which I definitely agree. I think that many movies today are shit. The golden age of Hollywood was during the heyday of the Hays Code, where you were able to have really excellent films, but there was not a moral compromise.
Yes.
Bad guys were bad guys, and bad guys had to die.
Well, nowadays people act like there's no influence, any negative influence from any kind of media, like it has no effect on you. But the same people that say that, rail against the Bible and all that and call it a bad influence. All right, Bob. Here we go. We're going to review this film right now. Give me 1 second. All right. All right, Bob. Cinematography.
I thought the cinematography was quite good. I'm going to give it a 7.
A 7? Wow. Why?
I think that the exterior shots added something to it. I mean, Annie Frank Lloyd Wright house is just stunning. And the shots inside, it was obvious that they took a lot of inspiration from Alfred Hitchcock. Alfred Hitchcock is known for those panning shots that evoke that sense of dread. And I think that this movie was definitely trying to do that. Perhaps a little bit less elegantly than Hitchcock manages to do it. But definitely still creating that sense of suspense and terror, and doing so with the absence, right?
Yes.
Like it would get quiet and there wasn't all of the trappings of what would be a typical like horror flick. Like Hitchcock was known for creating the sense of dread using like lighting and shadows and silence, and this movie did that, and I think that that's incredibly effective.
Yeah. I think it was beautifully shot for the most part. In a lot of ways, people, if you watch a film like this, you could tell it's inspired like so many films going forward. It's an extremely well shot film, but I mean, it is kind of up there, what was it? 1959, right?
Yeah.
59. So it was kind of there, but it predates films like Psycho, right? And
it inspired Psycho, which I think is so cool.
It inspired Psycho. I think it's an extremely well shot film. It's similar to like, more modern movie going forward, like, a film of like the 80s or 90s, which I think really it's the golden age, right? That's kind of the end. I feel like was the 90s was the cutoff of amazing cinematography. We don't really see it anymore, but this movie, for 1959 is extremely well shot.
I mean, if you want to see, an exquisite
It's just cinematography, lighting.
Strangers on a Train. is incredible. Rear Window, very, very good.
But it's many different framings in here. Also, like the way that, remember when the woman screams?
Yeah.
The way it's shot, the way it pans, it's very stylized. In the beginning, you have like the kind of dark, all black background with the like disembodied floating heads. And then they like light them like real intense, like high contrast kind of lighting. It really starts the movie off on a really, on a high note. It's intriguing. It instantly sucks you into the movie, and there's a lot of really great shots in here, and very good lighting, and just the way that the shots are framed. I think it's just very well shot film. It's pretty.
In the comments, we've got Tentai Takara saying that it's surprisingly clear and easy to watch. A lot of older movies, particularly movies from like I'm gonna say 1935 through like 1965. Are excellent. Like the storyline is clear.
Yes,
it is shot well.
But the environment is great too. The where they shot it is also a big part of it. It's shot. Really well.
They shot it. The interior is on sound stages, and it's funny. I bet you they used some of these sound stages for Topper.
But they did a great job with it. It looks like a real mansion. All right, Bob. Sound.
I thought the sound was really good. I think that they used sound effectively to create ambiance. I think that the music chosen or the scoring, right? Because it wasn't like songs picked. It was a score made specifically for this film. I think that they used sound almost as a character, where it heightened that
music
sense of
as well.
fear.
This is everything encompassed in the sound, music, all of it.
Right, but what I'm saying is that the soundscape was a character.
Yes, I understand.
So I would actually give it an 8.
An 8, okay. I'm going to create another category for music, but right now we're combining the two. All right, I'm going to give it an 8 as well. I think all around it's got a great score. Sound is really good. In every way, the clarity of the voices of the characters, whatever, bass notes, and then all the different sound effects and everything that goes with a film like this. The ghosts, the screaming was a bit comical, but I mean, it was a bit comical, but music, the score is good. Everything was good. I thought all the sounds, even the soundscaping, the guns and all that. Yeah. All right, Bob, FX.
I honestly think that the special effects were the weakest part.
Yes.
So I'm going to give that a 5.
Yes.
Because looking at it with my modern eyes, they were very not scary. Like I could see the rigging hole in the top of the skeleton and the way that all of the joints were articulated, and it's just it was a little hokey. But I imagine if I was seeing this in 1959, this would have been like legitimately terrifying, especially if a skeleton like flew down from the ceiling of the movie theater while I was watching that. Oh my God, this would have been absolutely gobsmackingly horrifying.
Yes, I gave it a 7. I thought actually some of the effects were really good. I liked the floating woman in the window. The severed head looked very fake, but that was the whole thing, right? It wasn't actually a head.
Yeah. Iceman gave the special effects a 3.
Right. Yeah, the skeleton kind of throws people off, but it looked like it was a puppet on strings.
Yeah.
It kind of looked that way, but the fact that you couldn't see the strings is what drove the lady mad, right? Kind of got her to fall into that vat of acid. In some ways it's campy. It is campy. I think sometimes they make the violence a little comical because they might not be able to even release the film possibly if it wasn't comical. Because this film, in a lot of ways,
it pushed the envelope.
It strikes that line between slightly comical but also like kind of really dark. Like the way Vincent Price grabs his wife behind the hair and pulls her head, it's very violent.
Yeah.
And then the way the women scream, they go a little overboard, which makes it comical because they don't overdo it. They overdo it.
I think you're right, Fu. They had to kind of balance it out because I'm actually honestly surprised that they were able to like even show or imply suicide as much as they did.
Yes.
That was very unusual because again, right, when we're thinking about morality, suicide, big no-no.
Yeah. It gets a bit dark in this one, but not too dark. They kind of sometimes they bring it to like a comical kind of point, and then they cut it off there. I think they could have got a little darker. That's like that scream when she falls in there. It's really creepy, like the way she does it. But at some point, you just want to laugh because she just
because
keeps
it's
going
so
and
ridiculous.
going.
Tentai in the comments is saying that the skeleton's mosey was almost like a dance, and it was really
it was
funny.
like a little wiggle.
True,
yeah.
but like then you remember that it's like about to push her into a vat of acid and kill her.
Yes.
So I think that they were skirting the line, and that was the thing. Like horror movies, some sci-fi movies, film noir, they all like skirted the edge of the Hays Code, and they would get away with as much as they could get away with. I'm sure that in the original cut of this film, they probably went a little further. Like Vincent Price was might have even slapped the wife or something like that. But they could only get away with so much. I mean, the fact that what you may or may not have seen with the wife when she runs down the stairs, you could see that her nightgown is actually open and she's just wearing little panties underneath. So even though they cover as much as like a swimsuit bottom would have covered, the fact that she ran down the stairs in that nightgown opened and you saw what was supposed to be her underwear, very scandalous.
Yes.
There was actually like a surprising amount of skin shown in this film as well.
All right, Bob. Story.
The story was good. I think that the plot twist was really, really good.
Yes.
I'm going to give it a 9. I think that it was a really fun story, and it's not necessarily a completely never before done concept, but I think it was done really well.
Yes, it is. It was done well. I will give it for the story. Even though I feel like they could have pushed it further, it kind of has an ending that isn't totally satisfying.
Yeah.
Especially coming off of the remake, where the remake, they kind of tied it all up. I mean, I guess back then they really want people to kind of fill in the blanks. I feel like you feel like you want a sequel. And I feel like the movie should have been longer, right? It was only an hour and 12 minutes.
But I think that films are a lot longer now than they used to be. Like it was because people would go to a movie theater and they weren't just seeing one film. They would go to a Nickelodeon and they would see cartoon. They would see like a double feature, right? So they would be seeing 2 movies and then the cartoons and the little shorts at the front of it. So, they're already going to be at the theater for like 3 or 4 hours. Right. If each film was 2 hours long, like now we're here all day.
Well, that's cool. You watch like a sci-fi and then you watch like a film like this, which actually in a lot of ways, it makes you think that it's going to be a horror film, right? Or like a haunted house film. And then it turns into like a revenge story.
Yeah. It's
really.
Like Clue.
Yeah. It's like Clue. This predates Clue, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So this probably was the inspiration for the game Clue.
Colonel Mustard in the library with the candlestick.
Bob,
Clue used to be one of my favorite board games, actually.
Yes. Bob, acting.
I think that the acting was really fun. I think that it was supposed to be a little bit over the top. I'm going to give the acting a 7. Like, I think that Vincent Price was really good, but Vincent Price is always really good, and Vincent Price is always just Vincent Price in different outfits. I think Lance and the doctor were really good. The wife was really good. Like, I had no idea that the wife and the doctor were in a relationship and trying to kill the husband. I had no idea.
I feel like this movie fits Vincent Price perfectly.
It does.
Like the way, just everything about him, how prissy he is. And this was like he was made. This role was built for him.
It was.
Really,
I'm sure that the writer was thinking of him when he was writing this role, because this is like nobody else could do this role.
At the time, yeah, he was such a prissy guy. You could tell he's just like, he just fits that the jaded, or damaged rich guy, right? Kind of prissy.
They described it perfectly. He's an eccentric.
Yes.
And in life, he was an eccentric. I mean, he did the opening and closing monologues for Thriller. Like he was the Prince of Horror.
This is what he was. Yeah. I thought that the performances were a little Some of them were kind of not as strong as others, but what there was there, I think, was really strong performances throughout.
Iceman in the comments is saying good acting.
Yes, I thought it, even though it's a little campy, it always is with Vincent Price.
Yeah.
He is in a lot of ways. He just seems like a Shakespearean actor, right? When you see him,
I think he was.
Just the way he acts, it's almost a stage play in the way he does it. It's not. It's very believable, but it's also got a little hint of like a little camp to it.
Mhm.
But you know he's acting. But most of the players in this film were very good. I thought
Mhm.
most of them were good performances throughout for basically everybody. Take it or leave it, Bob.
Take it. Love it.
Why?
Want to buy this movie, actually. I want to buy it on Blu-ray and add it to our collection. Don't just stream stuff,
This won't be
guys.
the last time we're gonna do this. This movie, we're gonna do a talkie for the next one. If anybody wants to get in on that, we took it. It's a great film.
Yeah.
You could tell why it's so influential. And I would definitely watch the remake. The remake is also really good. I thought Jeffrey Rush did a great job playing the Vincent Price character. It's a little more violent than this one. It's actually the first place I heard the Marilyn Manson cover of "Sweet Dreams." I think was in that film. It was on the soundtrack for the House on Haunted Hill, the remake. 1 second. All right, so we're gonna watch a little bit. I don't know if you guys seen the remake, but we're gonna watch a little bit of. We're gonna watch a trailer for the remake.
I just, ugh.
What?
So fun. Such a fun movie.
Yes.
You know, we should, if we can, we should do Topper. Topper is such a good movie.
Yeah, we. I'll look it up. We might be able to do it. Just give me a second.
This Halloween, 6 strangers have been invited to a party. If they can stay up till dawn, they'll win $1 million each. The only catch is that they'll have to live through the night.
Let the games begin.
It's in there. Hey, I think I got something.
Stephen, are you doing this?
No.
All right, so that's House on Haunted Hill. That's the remake, Bob. Have you ever seen that?
I have, actually. Now you see it, now that you've shown the trailer, I have seen it.
It wasn't too bad, and then actually, in its own right, it was very influential. You could tell, you could see the influence of that film on films like 13 Ghosts.
Yep, that was
there was
very 13 Ghosts.
It
the
did
Juggernaut
influence, yeah.
specifically in 13 Ghosts was taken
Yes.
copy and paste.
For sure, it influenced some films. It also influenced the game. It's called The Suffering. I don't know if you've ever seen that. There was a sequel to that game was called The Tides That Bind. It's very similar. You could tell it was directly based on this film. But this film, in a lot of ways, was inspired by not only the original, but also films like Jacob's Ladder.
Mhm.
You could see a lot of influence in there.
Yeah.
You also saw that in 13 Ghosts as well.
Jacob's Ladder is a
But
great
this,
movie.
This film, I think it's kind of cool that they took from a classic, but also kind of had their own kind of style in there. And that was also kind of influenced. I feel like that's maybe one of the reasons Marilyn Manson was on the soundtrack, because he himself was influenced by Jacob's Ladder.
Yeah.
The film Jacob's Ladder. So I thought it was funny that they kind of put that in there.
But I also, like, thinking about this, the reason that in my mind these two films were completely decoupled from each other is because they feel like two completely different sides of a coin, right? Like, the central concept is stay in this haunted, ostensibly haunted thing, get money, right? And you're all here for different reasons, so you're particularly motivated. You're not somebody who could just turn around and walk away from the sum of money.
It's also got that whole thing like like a lot of the films we've been watching where you're kind of like trapped, right?
Yes.
You're trapped in like it's not desolate, but you know, you're trapped somewhere. Which is, you also see that in Night of the Living Dead, where they're kind of trapped in the house. This is like a common thing you see in a lot of horror films, Bob.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
Why do you think that is?
Because you can own, like, that is the deus ex machina of many of these types of storylines, because realistically, in the real world, in real life, if I am presented with a situation like this, I would just simply not go. I would leave. I would not participate, right? I would choose not to be involved. And most people would choose not to be involved. So in order for us to be in a believable space with these characters, we have to eliminate the element of choice. So there has to be some either like tremendously compelling factor. They have to literally be trapped, as in the case of this film. You know, they're on a deserted island. There's a catastrophe, right? Like with 28 Days Later, right? So there has to be a thing that means that they cannot escape from the world in which you want them to be. Otherwise, they would just, like, horror films would be 3 minutes long, and it would be the person going, yeah, no thanks. I'm going to not do that.
Yeah.
Roll credits.
You have to get the public to kind of believe, right, that they would stay there, because most people would just run out of the house.
Exactly. Like, the second you saw that blind caretaker lady, you'd be out. You would leave. You would, first of all, you'd probably either shoot her or punch her, and then you'd be out the door.
Yeah.
In
one of the
12
creepy
seconds.
things about this is that they lock the doors, right?
Yeah.
That's right. They lock the doors, but like you're like trapped in the house, right? Other one of these other films of a similar style, they usually make it where the danger's outside.
Yes.
Which is also really creepy. Like when you look at something like Night of the Living Dead, the danger's outside. So
The
you
last
stay in the
man
house,
on Earth.
and then it's sort of like creeping into the house.
Yes.
So you're in your safe zone, but that safe zone is being invaded.
And that safe zone is getting smaller and smaller.
Which
and
is
smaller.
similar to Crab Monsters as well. Attack of the Crab Monsters.
Yeah,
is a
the
similar
island is
idea.
literally
The
disintegrating.
island is literally disintegrating, which is funny because they now have like a game type, a common game type. They call it like looters shooters. But what happens in these games is that it actually the world around you just keeps shrinking. Isn't that funny? Like this kind of thing already existed in films a long time ago, but it's in video games now. It's a game type. I don't know if you guys ever seen it. It's also in those Call of Duty games where the map keeps getting smaller and smaller, so it concentrates you into one point, and at some point you have to have this confrontation. Where, you know, in a lot of these films, the point is not the confrontation; it's kind of the runaway. But at some point, they force these characters into that confrontation, and we saw it yesterday in the Attack of the Crab Monsters.
Yep.
You know, where the island was shrinking, then they literally had like a fist-to-fist fight almost with these giant crabs.
We've got Tentai Takai in the comments saying, why did the caretaker woman both hiss and glide?
I don't know. I thought that kind of slide she did was kind of creepy.
But I think that what the subtext is that the caretaker woman like existed and was a real person, but the psychologist and the wife had made up a dummy, because you can kind of see that she's like rolling. It looks like she's rolling on like a wheelie basis, right? So I think that they had made dummies, like they made the gaff of the dismembered head. And I think that they were trying to, like, they wanted to push someone far enough to commit a murder. So I think that they had like preemptively staged some of these things, just kind of emphasizing the natural scariness of the house.
Yeah.
But again,
did,
like
did he
you
have
had
her room bugged or something? Like, how would he know that girl was gonna like fake shoot him?
He probably thought. I bet all of the guns had blanks.
Remember she said that he strangled her?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe he did that intentionally. Like,
Yeah.
he strangled her in order for her to fake shoot him.
I guess they, the wife and the psychologist kind of picked her out early on that she was going to be the weakest link.
Yes.
And I think it was probably by, like, those initial, like, the older lady had the blood fall on her hand and she was like freaked out, but she wasn't like losing her shit. But the younger woman, every time anything happened, she's screaming and running and crying and, you know, very like over the top, you know, emotionally imbalanced. And so I think that once they picked who it was going to be, they just started like focusing in on her and trying to get her to that fever pitch where she's going to shoot the next thing that walks in front of her.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, it seems to be like some holes in that, right? Like they're in the room. The guy tells the woman, he says like, "Oh, when you hear the shot, come down," right?
Yeah.
Like how would he know what's going to happen to set that all up? And then perfectly at the perfect time, that young girl's in the room. Did he know that she was going to shoot him? Like.
Well, yeah, that was the goal, that he was, because remember,
Oh, so maybe he was the one that strangled her.
Yeah.
That guy.
The psychologist strangled her.
The one that wanted, because I thought it was Vincent Price character. But didn't she suspect it was the Vincent Price character?
She thought it was Vincent Price, but she couldn't see him. She said he pulled her into a room that was dark, and he strangled her and left her there, and she assumed it was Vincent Price.
So basically he knew she was the weakest link, so he gave her blanks.
He knew that she was the weakest. I think he probably put blanks in all of the guns except his.
Thought. I would have thought he would have put blanks
because he didn't know who was going to fold.
Even his gun, he probably would have put
Well,
blanks
no, because he shot the vase.
Yeah, but maybe he had one real bullet.
So he wanted them to think that the guns were loaded.
Yes.
But it was blanks. And I'm pretty sure all of them had blanks.
That's really interesting, right? That he would even shoot. It's funny, he shoots it right next to his wife's head.
Mhm.
You know, you can't shoot a gun
and then
like
when
that.
he hands her the gun, it's pointing at him.
Yeah.
And then he like pushes it away. But it's just like their whole dynamic was so good. Like the woman who played his wife played that role very well, I thought.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to watch this one again on the channel for sure. Sorry, again, people, sorry about the ads. It's that CCC channel. It's that guy plays retro films. Obviously, we're doing a better job. We
was really upset.
I was actually very upset about that because I thought that guy was about film preservation, and he's really not. He's just trying to get money for advertising.
While our mics were off, Fu was raging.
And obviously,
about the commercials.
You put your work in, but the guy doesn't put any work in. All he does is play. All he does is play the film. So why are you loading it up with advertising?
Come on.
Stop. So the next one we're gonna make an effort. We'll play this again at some point. We'll do a talkie. That means we'll kind of like joke around, have some fun, and we'll play the movie through in its entirety with no advertising. That was just irritating because I want to sit here and enjoy it as well. And when there's that many ads, it just gets a little irritating for me. All right, Bob. I got to put some more categories in the score, right, Bob?
I mean, I feel like we have enough categories. Like it doesn't need to be 400 questions long.
We should put like funny scenes, comedic value, right?
I mean, that's not going to be appropriate for all the movies. I think that the scorecard you have now is good.
What is Iceman saying? How could you, Fu? What do you mean?
That you were losing your fucking marbles.
Yes. I was getting a bit irritated.
You guys were very fortunate that the mics were off because Fu was raging through the whole movie.
I was like, how does this guy put this many ads in this movie? He makes me want to go. Makes me want to put my hands around it and goes. What?
Tentai Takai in the comments is saying that he felt the sincerity.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you're a dude. You might not be a dude. I don't know whatever you are, is saying that individual felt the sincerity.
Yeah. All right. Well, I thought it was a great movie.
It was.
I'd like to watch it
really
again.
Fun.
Definitely is a take. I definitely watch it again.
I grew up watching pretty much exclusively movies from before 1965. So like this is right in my wheelhouse.
Yes, she loves older films.
I do.
Me and her actually really love old films and old TV. I like old TV shows as well. Ever since I was a child, I watched like a lot of black and white films. I like Twilight Zone's one of my favorite black and white shows.
Fu actually, Fu has many talents. He builds arcades and all kinds of cool stuff, but he also set up in our bar for when we have people over. He has a cool little CRT monitor that he will have out playing.
I play like old classic shows and stuff and movies.
The OG Twilight Zone, OG Star Trek. What else do you have? You have a whole bunch.
I
of
got a
ones.
whole bunch of stuff on. I got them on cassette. I collect VHS tapes and VHS, 8 tracks, CDs. I collect a lot of stuff like that, older media. That's why I'm into a preservation of this stuff, of films, of games, right? That's why I'm gonna have a discussion on our gaming show about this, the digital age, all this, the end of physical ownership. It's not a good thing. It's not a good thing because sometimes you got to tolerate some douchebag putting 1 million advertisements into your movie. You piece of beep.
All right, Fu, relax. Oh, I think Tentai's a girl, woman.
Oh, what's up? Is it
female?
Oh, it's female.
Human.
Oh,
I
that's
think.
cool. That's cool.
Hello.
Bob's also a female.
I am,
think.
allegedly.
I guess. Are you a female?
I don't know. I identify as a cucumber personally, or an octopus. If I could,
show us
I
the
think
bar.
if I could be anything, I would be an
I'll
octopus.
put up a picture on the next show. Maybe I'll take a picture of it and show it.
Of what?
The bar.
Oh, yeah.
We'll show the bar. All right, we're reading some of the comments right now, people.
Oh, that's cool.
If you're new
Tentai.
to the Real Food TV, people, remember to subscribe to the Real Food TV and hit that like button.
Our
You're
house
watching-
is almost 200 years old.
Yes, it's haunted.
so-
That's for damn sure.
What?
You've been watching Food Theater.
That was one of the reasons we bought it, because it's very, very old. Very, very
Yes.
old. We call her our grand old lady.
Yeah, it's a cool house. It's a
We
nice
love our house.
Yep.
Well, I love our house. Fu has been tasked with doing many of the exponentially more complicated than they should be repairs and things, because it's an almost 200-year-old house. Like, come on. So I think that Fu has a love-hate relationship with the house.
Dark says, "What is a female?" Our politicians cannot define it. That was kind of a weird time. Hopefully they've gotten that down, right? They've kind of identified what those things are.
Mm.
Ooh, a very rare type of identity. Nice.
I would, if I could, be an octopus, I think.
Yes. You know what's an octopus, Bob?
What?
The brain.
Yes, that is a Bobism.
The brain is the octopus
of the body.
The brain is the octopus of the
I mean,
body.
although it would be kind of cool to be a manta ray. I don't know. I think it would just be really awesome to try to be everything. I would be
everything. Sorry.
I would be an ant.
Would you
Oh
be
my
an ant?
goodness. Have you guys ever
Ants are
been
badass.
Ants are awesome.
I saw Honey, I Shrunk the Kids when I was a kid, and I saw that ant. I was like, that ant is really cool. The ant could lift like all kinds of stuff, but then he gets killed. I think he gets killed. That was actually pretty sad. When I was a kid, I saw that giant ant get killed.
Well, ants are cool, and there's a YouTube channel that I have very strange viewing habits. There's a YouTube channel called Ants Canada, and it's this dude, and I think he's Malaysian. But he has this channel, and maybe he lives in Canada. I'm unclear why it's called Ants Canada. But he builds these absolutely like bananas terraria for his ant colonies. And he narrates these epic like expeditions that his various types of ants take. It's really actually quite compelling. I've made Fu watch a number of them, mostly against his will. But it's actually a really cool channel. I've learned so much about like ants and other insects from that channel.
No.
It's delightful. I highly recommend.
Ants?
Yes, Ants. Ants Canada. All one word.
Iceman says, I figured that one night you kept saying you was cold. About what? The house being cold? The house is actually really warm because we warm it with wood. We have wood stove things that we, what do you call them? Pellet stove, and we have 2 pellet stoves.
We do. We
did a stream I think once, and our heat was out. It broke.
Yeah.
We had to get it fixed.
And also, like, the house has had additions put on it at different time points. So the original body of the house is actually extremely well insulated. So, like, it's very, very hot all of the time.
Yeah.
Especially in the winter. Like, we keep our thermostat, not because we're, like,
but if
stingy.
we don't put the heat on, it actually does get kind of cold.
It can get cold, but it takes a little while. But, like, the bedrooms are very, very warm.
Yes.
So warm that we actually keep a window like a little bit open, even in the winter, even in the negative degrees, because it's just roasty and toasty in our house. But our office is a bit chilly. Our office is actually an extension that was added on in the late 19th century. But yeah. Fu and I, when we were buying a house, we did not want new construction. We wanted a historical home, haunted preferably. We wanted a house with character. We wanted a house with some property. And we wanted to be in a nice neighborhood. And I think that we pretty much ticked all of those boxes. We would have liked more land than we got. But, you know, we're pretty happy, I think.
Yes.
Except Fu would really significantly appreciate it if his honey-do list was a bit shorter. But,
Yeah,
you know.
I mean, it's an older house. We gotta fix some stuff. That's just the way it is, people. That's the way life is. What about Bob? All right, the next episode of Fu TV, and by Fu TV I mean Fu Theater, is probably gonna be Night of the Living Dead.
Ooh.
We're gonna watch Night of the Living Dead, and it will not have a single advertisement. Just so you guys know.
Oh my God, let it go.
Let me say it one more time.
No.
If you guys want to watch classic films the right way from people who actually put effort in, who actually put some damn effort, CCC. Unlike
Fubert the third.
With all those advertisements.
Oh my goodness.
2 million subscribers got 8,000 fucking advertisements for a movie. We will have 0 for Night of the Living Dead.
Fubert.
I have it on DVD, I think, or Blu-ray.
Futhuzula.
This is Fu Theater, the greatest channel, greatest
Your
classic
OCD is running away with you.
movie. Not only is this the greatest channel known to man, but we are way cooler than CCC. Just got to say it. Sorry,
Yeah,
CCC.
Dark. That was actually when we were meeting different realtors. So when we were on the house hunt, it was going very badly. And Fu made some inopportune statements in some of the houses that we were looking at. So we got kind of frustrated and then just started like randomly going to see houses that were interesting, that we had no intention of buying or putting an offer in, but that were just like weird. So I would trawl around on like Zillow and Realtor.com and all of those different sites. And if I found something that was like bonkers, I would reach out and be like, look, I'm not going to buy the house, but can we see it? Like, if you're game to show it, we're game to come drive out and see it. And it
I'm going to
became
put
like,
out a listing. Sorry, Bob. I'm going to put a listing out for the next show we do. We might do it tomorrow night, but I'm going to try to do it earlier. I want to actually do it around 8 p.m.
all right, so we'll try for 8
see
p.m.
if we can do it at 8 p.m. I'm sorry, once again, I didn't bring the trivia. I want to bring it back. The thing is, to do the trivia, I need time to write out all the questions and do all the graphics. But we're going to be bringing back the trivia, the Fu Theater trivia. Are you happy about that, Bob?
Yes.
That is coming back?
And Ask Never Sobers. We do, when you win the trivia, you do get prizes.
Yeah, we have prizes. We have prizes.
Never Sobers won the first ever.
Sobers is
Fu
actually
Theater
supposed to
trivia.
still get a movie and a certificate and a little plunger. He'll get it eventually. We'll send it out.
Fu has many ideas.
No, he's supposed to get a copy of Little Shop of Horror.
I know you are.
Yes, I'm going to be
Not
sending
you are.
it to him eventually. Hopefully he didn't move. Hopefully he didn't move yet. But it's going to go out. It's going to go out. Don't worry. It's going to happen. We had all kinds of things that happen.
Oh.
All kinds of excitement, right, Bob?
Futhuzela. Futhuzela the Third. Relax. Take a breath. See, this is what happens. He had coffee.
Get the tranquilizer. What the F?
Just you're going all crazy town.
I had the 11 o'clock cup of coffee.
The 11 p.m. coffee. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
All right. So we'll be putting the listing out for that. I'm going to see if I can write up the questions tomorrow for the trivia. And we'll see if we can put that episode out tomorrow. Not, we'll be doing some, we're going to be bringing back the Doom Scroll.
Well, be clear. Are we going to watch Night of the Living Dead tomorrow?
Most likely we'll be watching it tomorrow. But I also...
Don't equivocate.
But I also have to do some of the other programming we do here, Bob.
Don't equivocate.
Yes. I want to bring back also some Foo Gaming. Me and Bob are going to be playing...
Oh my God.
All right, this will happen on...
My Lord.
Thursday. On Thursday, we're most likely going to be playing Alex Jones, the video game, if anybody wants to watch that. It doesn't exist on the PC. I mean, not on the PC, on the console. So we're going to be playing it here on the PC.
Gay frogs.
Gay frogs, the game.
Oh my God.
Don't you like gay frogs, Bob?
Lord have mercy.
You guys, aren't you happy about the Gay Frogs, the game?
See, I can only curtail the unhinged mania of the Foo for so long. Sometimes he gets going like a runaway train and cannot be stopped. Cannot be reasoned with.
Bob, you don't have to be like that.
You don't have to be like that.
Anyway, here's a little preview of what's to come, people. Give me 1 second. Did you guys know that Post Malone actually has Oreo cookies? Isn't that disgusting?
Tentai, what are you like not around at 8-ish, or is late night better for you?
What do you mean?
Don't worry about it. Talking to the kind people who are here putting up with your mania.
There's no mania. All right, I'm looking for this little trailer here. Oh, good. Where the F is this trailer, Bob?
I don't know, bro.
Oh, they got influencer cornballs on there, didn't they?
I don't know.
Is this the official trailer? Yeah, this is not the official trailer. It's some cheesy influencer guy. Obviously not as cool as us. All right.
Oh, okay.
What? Okay.
Tentai is closing from 11 p.m. 11
What
to
is that?
8 p.m.
What is that?
So that means that she would not be here for an 8 p.m. showing.
Oh, well, what time are you free?
Well, she's working till 8 p.m., so she would probably have to like come home and
No, I mean,
exist
we'll
a
see.
little bit.
We'll see. I mean, we could do 10 if that's more convenient for people. 10 o'clock, I feel like, is the cutoff point. Like, we're doing them a little too late because, then we usually end up around 1 o'clock in the morning. I feel like, ending close to 12:30 would be like kind of like a good time, I think.
Yeah, I think a
Real
10 p.m. showing, because then you
10
could
o'clock.
also do some of your other, like you could do a Doom Scroll or something earlier in the evening.
Yeah, I could do something.
And then we
else,
close out with the nightcap.
Yeah, with a movie.
The night show.
I'm trying to get it around that. I'm going to create a schedule so we can do like maybe two shows a day.
Ladies
maybe.
and gentlemen, you may not be aware, but hell is in fact just frozen over. Foo, of his own volition, is saying he's going to make a schedule.
Oh, God. All right, we're going to watch this
Satan has
cheesy
joined the
influencer guy.
ice-capades, y'all.
This is what we're a much better gaming channel. People, we do it all better. This is the greatest YouTube channel on the internet.
Foo!
Come on, we got to be honest.
Foo.
All right, people. Here it is. Alex Jones, the game. We're going to be playing it soon.
Let's free the Patriots and defeat
Mark
globalist
Zuckerberg? We are going to defeat the globalists very bigly.
This game is mostly peaceful.
Woo! No way! Wait!
All right, I'm sorry you have to look at this ugly man. I could not find the actual trailer for this game. You know what I'll do, Bob? People, I'm sorry I had to put you through that, looking at that ugly face. He looks kind of like the skeleton from House on Haunted Hill, Bob.
Oh my goodness.
What?
Foo.
What?
Foo.
What, Bob?
Don't behave.
I'm
like
sorry I
that.
had to make you guys look at that dude's face. His dirty, dirty, dirty face. I don't know. I've seen that guy on YouTube, Bob. He annoys me. He's a shitty person. I just got to
Foo,
say.
who doesn't annoy you?
This guy over here, he's just not a good person. He's like one of those guys
You don't know him. You can't make a value judgment
Look,
about
Bob,
his
I've
character.
seen him online a couple of times. He's a clickbaiting piece of trash
Oh my goodness.
who's also ugly.
Foo.
Bob, he's ugly.
Behave yourself.
Bob, I'm not joking. Look, review tech that guy. Anytime some person's down on their luck, that guy comes out and talks shit about them. So why do I gotta be nice to him? He's ugly. He's ugly. He's ugly. He's ugly. I'll say that in my best Alex Jones voice. He's ugly. He's ugly. The frogs. The guy.
Foobert.
You know he sounds sort of like a troll sometimes?
Foobert the third. You know
What?
who else sounds like a troll?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't. I don't kick people when they're down, okay? I'm going to look on YouTube for Alex Jones, the game trailer. All right?
You're not on YouTube right now. You're
not
on
YouTube,
Steam.
on Steam. Stop correcting me.
Stop being wrong.
So we're going to be playing Alex Jones, the game. Guess
Oh,
what?
my Lord.
I got the actual trailer.
Foo has
And we don't
been
have to look at that ugly.
obsessed
And we
with
don't have to
playing
look at
this
that guy's
game.
face again and scare everyone.
Foo.
What? Stop.
Don't be a douche.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, ugly man. What?
Foobert the third.
I didn't mean it. Ugly.
Now, the ultimate retro nostalgia throwback game. I present to the world Alex Jones's New World Order Wars. They're turning the friggin' frogs game. I'll eat your ass, you Nazi scum. Let's free the Patriots and defeat the globalist tech geeks.
We are going to defeat the globalists very bigly.
This game is mostly peaceful.
I'm going to lower the world's population.
Oh, big deal. I'm taking you down, rapist.
I did not have sexual relations with that saxophone.
Download it now.
Big Bill, I'm taking you down, rapist. That's hilarious.
At AlexJonesGame.com, because as we all know, anything badass gets censored.
Exactly. I know all about that. I'm getting shadow banned. Right, Bob?
Correct.
For sure. For damn sure. People, it's the greatest show known to man. You've been watching Food Theater. All right, Bob.
Yeah.
It is 1:34 in the morning.
It's pumpkin time.
Is it
Bob.
pumpkin time?
It is.
All right. With
Bob's
that said,
workday start. My workday. Why am I talking about myself in the third person?
I
Jesus
don't know.
Christ. My workday starts kind of. Well, it starts at, I guess, a normal time. I start work at 7:30. Allegedly.
Anybody that enjoyed the show, remember, hit that like button. Supposedly, I've been told it helps. But when you're getting shadow banned, nothing helps. But hopefully it helps. Hopefully it helps.
Tomorrow you get decaf.
Nope. Tomorrow I get 3 cups of coffee at 10 p.m.
Nope.
All right. You've been watching House on Haunted Hill as well. The movie is good. We liked it. It is a taker, people. It is an own. Also, if you could buy it physical.
Yeah. Don't do this streaming nonsense.
Yes.
If you could buy physical copies of games, of media,
Yeah.
music, do so.
We'll do it again. We're going to do it again. No advertisements next time, but we'll do a talkie.
Tentai in the comments is saying it sounds like an interesting game. It'll be something.
What, Alex Jones, the game?
Yep.
It looks funny. Yeah, we're going to be playing it on the channel, on our the gaming portion of this channel. All right. So
Iceman is giving us the peace sign. And also prayers.
Thanks.
Or a high five. Unclear.
Thank you very much, Iceman. Thank you, everybody who came in here. You want to say thanks to some of the people in there, Bob?
Yeah, we had Tentai, we had Iceman, we had Dark, we had Never Sober swung through for like 13 seconds. El Pinchy, we had EJ, we had Sergeant, and by EJ I mean...
Want to talk into that mic, Bob?
I am talking into the mic.
You're talking down.
I am not. We had Electro Jed, we had Sergeant, I already said that. We had Rusty
Yes.
Cage. So yeah, we had some of the usual suspects and some newer faces.
All right. Well, thanks again, everybody. We want to thank you all for coming in here. We really are trying to build this channel, and we're also not trying to be like CCC and play a bunch of advertisements. So, if you guys want to support the real Food TV, Our Venmo is in the description of the video.
We
right.
And Tentai is saying that she is a new subscriber, so thanks you very
a lot.
much.
Thanks a lot. We appreciate it. Thank you. Got some prayers there from Iceman. Thank you very much.
I think the prayers are for me because I live with you, probably.
Bob.
Yeah.
You don't need prayers.
I need industrial strength prayers.
You know that's pretty mean, right? You made me cry a little bit.
Oh, no, I didn't. Shut up.
You did. I cried.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure.
Anyway. See you later, Vincent Price. Thank you for bringing us great films throughout these many years. Right,
and
Bob?
also that monologue from Thriller.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty excellent.
I mean, Vincent Price is pretty awesome. But with that said, people, everything has to come to an end. And that includes this episode of Foo Theater. We want to thank you all for joining us. So, from me, Bob, and the entire Foo Theater mob, we want to wish you all a good morning. It is 1:38 in the morning in New York. But I'll say good night, because it is night, Bob. It is night here.
It is nighttime.
Have a good one, people.
Good night.
Good night.
Tune in tomorrow for more FU Theater. Good night.
Oh my goodness.